How we all doing today? Today, we're going to start this one off a little bit differently. I'm going to speak to the YouTube censors. If you honestly think that you're going to get me to change my views and my opinions on things, you're dumber than I thought you were. It ain't going to happen. A bunch of what amount to children with no life experience who were brainwashed and indoctrinated at the Southern Poverty Law Center are not going to tell me what to think, are not going to dictate to me what I can say and what I can't say. It's not going to happen. Oh, you didn't realize that I knew where you come from? It's entirely possible. I might know a hell of a lot more about you than you think. Oh yeah, I know all about you. Your Ivy League background, where you went to school, how you got your jobs. Oh yeah. The fact that you've never spent 1 second in the neighborhood or basically know a damn thing about any of the causes that you fight for. You're just following the trends because you think it'll gain you status. You go along with the group. Hence the term groupthink. Truthfully, I am the very last person you should be screwing with. Because, as I've said before, I was raised to be one of you. But I'm not like you. And I'm not like them, the people you say you hate so much. And persecute so much, as a matter of fact. For instance, I totally get, and I'm talking to the rest of y'all now, totally get why they impeached and harassed Donald Trump the way that they did. Impeaching him not only once, but twice, out of desperation to cover up their own crimes. The part I never really could wrap my head around, oh man, whatever, was why they made such a big deal over a simple phone call between a U.S. president and another foreign leader. I didn't really get what the deal was with that until recently. If you notice, it wasn't just Joe Biden freaking out about the fact that Donald Trump spent time on the phone with the leader in Ukraine. It was the entire Democrat Party and some of the rhinos and neocons. Well, if it's just Joe Biden collecting $5 million in the Ukraine, why were the rest of them so concerned? The obvious answer, at least to me, is they were afraid if Biden's payoff and corruption, getting the prosecutor fired to protect his son, and Burisma, that if that was uncovered, that it would all splash back on them. Meaning, whatever's going on in the Ukraine, whatever it is we're paying for, is a hell of a lot more serious than people might think. And you can take the dollar amount that has been sent there as an example of that. Donald Trump is trying to make America great again, and his intent, pea gravel, was to restore, or is to restore, the Constitution. That would scare the living hell out of whoever is operating in a corrupt manner outside of our Constitution. And it stands to reason that they would attack that individual repeatedly if necessary. They would indict him. They would censure him. They would do whatever they thought was necessary to cover up the fact that they're involved in bribery and receiving kickbacks. Make sense? I know it doesn't to you leftists because you're brainwashed and indoctrinated. But the other 11 people who will get to watch this video might see it way more clearly than you. Here's the funny part. You're not fighting for social justice, you freaking idiots. You're aiding and abetting criminals under the guise of social justice. Basically, what you are fighting for, or you say you believe in so much, is social injustice. So your leaders, who call themselves the elite, can get away with their damn crimes. In other words, you Ivy League educated, indoctrinated idiots, you're being used by your leaders and your corporate bosses, by the way, for them to run a system that you'll never be included in. To them, you're just same old, same old. Someone who fell for the stick and they can use to their advantage, and when the time comes, leave you behind quicker than you could possibly imagine. Or, in my estimation, blame you when it all goes bad for the policies and practices they instituted. How do I know this? Like I said before, I know how these people think because I've spent way too much time around them in my life. I just didn't fall for their bullshit like you did. I've tried to square you away. I've tried to tell you what's going on because more people behind the scenes at YouTube probably watch my videos than the general public. But as I'm doing all of that, basically, or actually trying to help you, you're trying to kick me in the nuts. And I've had enough of it. So I'm not going to try to explain to anybody working behind the scenes how much danger they're in, how much their future is in jeopardy because they want to believe the bullshit. You want to stick your finger in a light socket after you've been told not to? You go right on ahead and do it. And maybe, just maybe, after you put some curls in your hair, you might actually learn something. And I ain't counting on it, that's for sure. Because if you honestly believe that Chevrolet can wake up one day and decide it's a board, there probably ain't no hope for you. I could put Chevy emblems all over the old Datsun here. They don't make a shit bit of difference. It's still a Datsun. But y'all don't seem to believe that. And if you won't believe that, you definitely won't believe that your leaders are corrupt and playing you. So I'm done. I hope y'all burn hard for your own stupid mistakes and misguided loyalties. I might even go so far as to tell your bosses how to do it. Because I don't really have a beef with the people at Google who actually write these policies and make y'all institute them. I have a problem with you for going along with it. So it's entirely possible and becomes more likely every day that I'm going to post videos about how Google can turn this all around on YouTube. And the people on the front lines of the censorship program in particular. If you want to play dirty with me, try and kick me in the nuts while I'm trying to help you, I'll be more than happy to play dirty with you. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Don't you dare come at me with that. You're a straight white male, inherently racist, white privilege bullshit. If I was so privileged, I wouldn't have to bring cars back from the dead just to have something to drive. Just as an example. I've lived in the neighborhood. Survived on my own. Under what were extremely difficult conditions. Even to the point where one day, after the winos who lived in the burned out street in the neighborhood in Columbus, Georgia, watched me operate for a while, they called me out in the street and made me an honorary racial slur, bestowing on me, according to them, the highest honor any white man could ever have. I've worked with people from all over the world. Black, white, red, yellow, brown. And never had a problem with a damn one of them. The only people I have a problem with are the people who screw me around. So what does that tell you? Based on my documented experiences with YouTube. Oh yeah, in this campground right here, I managed the crew that rebuilt that campground. And you know what? The Mexicans, who were here illegally, by the way, called me by the time it was all said and done. They called me Grande Gringo. You know why? Because I was climbing around in the same slimy bullshit that they were. Doing things that the money men behind the project would never consider doing. So racist? Quite the contrary. I would submit to you, based on your woke ideology, that you're the racist. Willing to make other people suffer for things that they haven't done, for things that they weren't involved with, for automatically assuming that one color should be suppressed over another. That is not equality, and it certainly does not promote equity. So here's the reality that you're not willing to accept. You're not helping anyone. You're hurting all of us overall by instituting and promoting the policies that your leaders say you should be going along with. You're not educated. You're brainwashed. And you're hurting people. And unless you are truly evil inside, you shouldn't be enjoying it. As a matter of fact, if even half a light bulb turns on in that so-called educated brain of yours, you'd have walked away a long time ago. Instead of doubling down and going along with what amounts to the psyop that you have been actively participating and indoctrinated into. And if you should be upset with anyone, it should be your professors who took you down the wrong path. It should be your leaders who keep promoting division instead of unity. You have become the very thing that you say you hate. Because of it, you have earned my disrespect. Because you have become the thing that you say you hate. You have now entered into a dangerous game and are subverting the Constitution of your own country and betraying your own people. And I can't think of, well, I can think of a couple, but I can't think of too many things that deserve my disrespect more than that. So keep doing what you've been doing, and you'll get exactly what you deserve. What's that, Mr. Straight White Male? Oh, they didn't teach you that at the Southern Poverty Law Center? Maybe they should have. 20 years in a federal penitentiary for sedition, or hung for participating in a conspiracy to commit treason against the United States of America.
So let me finish this up with a little story, because this shadow banned censored video is getting pretty long. I've ran demolition derbies all over central Wisconsin. And I know who's going to win 9 times out of 10 before the winner is announced. You know how that is? Because I pay attention. I watch the show. I see what's going on. And I assess who's doing what and how it's going to affect them in the long run. What the left has done with this document thing with Trump is basically like getting a little bit too excited and running your car into the concrete barrier and damaging it to a point where you're primed to be taken out. And fortunately for the rest of us, we haven't really even laid a mark on Donald Trump's car, and it's still running good, firing on all 8 cylinders. And it might take a little while to line up the shot to take down the Democrat deep state car, but it's coming. Because the damage is now so severe that there is no offense. And because of the damage, there is no defense. The only possible route is one, pull over and break your stick and concede defeat, which obviously isn't going to happen in this case. Or try and protect that side of the car from being hit or attacked. The problem is that while you're on the derby track, you have to be able to maneuver. And sooner or later, while you're maneuvering, it's going to open up your weak spot. And when it does, he's coming. And he's going to lay a shot on y'all that takes your asses right out of the game.
And at this point, there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
So when that day comes, feel free to whine and cry all you want. And all I'm going to do?
Say I freaking told you so.
Everybody said, you can't win with that thing. And you know what? They were right. But I got it to the podium, and I got paid.